welcome to the latest episode of the Taco Tuesday podcast. This is Brandon.
And this is Jake.
And we are coming to you 2 days after my 31st birthday.
Hell yeah.
I'm just now coming back to the land of the living. I
But you're alive.
Yeah, I'm alive and kicking. I don't really feel like it yet, but February 25th was my 31st birthday, and it was on a Sunday, so I didn't plan ahead and like tell anybody, hey, set aside time for my birthday. I had a buddy call me up and he's like, hey, it's your birthday Sunday, like you forgot, and we're gonna go out. I'm like, okay. So that's I have some regrets, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to more of that later on the show. I'll tell you how my night went, but how are you doing, buddy?
I am okay. I've had better days, but
I know you had some bad news come about you. Would you like to talk about it, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk. I wish that it wasn't real.
Yeah.
But my best friend from college, Worms, passed away. Not last night, but the night before. They're not really sure what happened, but they think that it was like a massive heart attack. But he was 35 years old. He had a 6-year-old boy, and it's heartbreaking. I mean, obviously, because he was my friend, but his family is obviously devastated. His son is going to grow up without a father, and his sister's without a brother, and so on and so forth. And
did you get a chance to talk to him recently, or has it been a while?
It was probably a few months. We had made plans to we had kind of been reconnecting recently. He was in the middle of a divorce. So I wake up one morning and I've got like this Facebook message that is like, like scrolling down. It's like, it seems like it's like 2 pages long. It's really long, and I read it, and he was talking about he like went in full detail of kind of what happened, and how he had found out that his wife was cheating on him, and and they had decided that they were going to stay together, like not be together, but they were going to live together so that they could co-parent for their son. And and then in recent months he had told me that that was not the case, that he just couldn't do it, and they were getting a divorce. And so after the initial thing, me and my buddy Nick is my oldest friend, a really good friend of mine, and we said, hey, we should go out and hang out with Worms, in one of the coming up weekends, and just be there for him. Catch up and be there for him, because even I think that their relationship was probably over long before that happened, but it's still hard, and separating from the woman that had your son, and so we just had a day, and he was really bummed, but kind of overall in good spirits, and we had a good day. We went back to his house, and I finally, I had never met his son, I'd met his son, but only once at their wedding. Yeah. And he was like a baby. So I got to meet, kind of grown up Connor a little bit, and it was a good day. If I remember correctly, I ended up going home that night because Nick and Jeff both like drank and did stuff, and I don't do that stuff. So I just, I knew that I didn't want to stay the night, but it was good to reconnect with him. And
yeah,
I just, as I mean, my schedule is pretty busy, and so I don't get to hang out with people that aren't local, and even people that are local, I just don't have a whole lot of time. So I don't know. I mean, I guess, I wish that we had talked more than we did, but I had talked to him pretty recently, and I don't know, man. It's just, I think, a lot of it, like, I think a lot of people experience this, is it's just your brain doesn't really comprehend kind of fully the weight of everything, right away.
Well, it's still fresh.
Yeah. So, yesterday was just an awful day, man. I was trying to sell my old car, and my girlfriend had given me the name of some dude that buys cars, and usually, like, he pays more than most of the junkyards do.
Yeah.
So I called him, and he just bailed on me. And then, like, an hour after he was supposed to be there, and I, like, tried to call him, and he didn't answer. And then an hour after he was supposed to be there, he shows up randomly and says, "Hey, I'm here." And I was like, "Dude, I didn't think you were coming. I sold the car." And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to beat you up." And I was like, "All right, okay." And so it was just, like, one thing after another. But I just, I don't know. I talked to my buddy Nick, and we, made plans to get lunch today. And then I don't know, man. I just, like, listened to songs that we used to listen to and stuff like that. And I went to a meeting last night to try to, clear my head a little bit, but I feel all right, man. I just feel awful for, I feel awful for Connor, and I feel awful for his ex-wife, even though they were, separated. I know that that's not what she wants, and now she has to raise a kid by herself, and it's just gotta be awful, man. It's too young to,
Yeah, you said 35?
35, yeah. It'd be 36 in October if,
Right. Nah, that's still way too young.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that you're going through that, man. I'm sorry that your buddy's ex and his kid have got to go through with that too,
Yeah. Just, yeah. I mean,
it's rough.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. It's still kind of, I mean, it's so frustrating. It's hard to kind of put into words. You just wonder, like, why? I've found myself in the past day thinking, like, I know plenty of people who are, like, Jeff was overweight.
Yeah.
But certainly not overweight enough. And he didn't, like, but besides that, he didn't really, like, abuse his body. He didn't do any hard drugs. He barely drank, I mean, he was just a little overweight, and I just wonder, like, how so many people, abuse it. Like, I did hard drugs for so many years, and I mean, obviously I experienced some consequences of it, but why, why am I still alive? And, I'm not saying that I want to die or anything. It just doesn't make sense,
No,
that's all.
I can totally understand. Well, wow. It definitely sounds like Sunday was just a rough day for a lot of people. I'm just hearing about your friend, and then I guess Kevin Smith also had a heart attack on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
really? Yeah. No, I knew he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, he did. I know. I don't know either of those guys personally, but just wow, like heart attacks have come up into my news feed and up in conversations with you and a couple other people a few times recently. So it's like wow, like I don't want to say like epidemic but
no,
it does sound it sounds like that's happening a lot now.
I think that it's just you never think about stuff like that. Like you don't think about how you should fasten your seatbelt or something until somebody dies because they weren't wearing their seatbelt, you know.
Right.
And it's just now it's kind of fresh, and you know, I don't know. I also think that probably because of his age. I mean, I think my dad had a heart attack at 40, but he smoked like 3 packs a day and, you know, didn't take care of himself. And, so, you know, even if you don't know for sure that it was the smoking, it was probably the smoking. You know, Jeff, I think Jeff smoked, you know, maybe a cigarette or 2 a day and maybe a little more if he was drinking, but I don't think he really even smoked. And it just like, it makes me think there had to, but there was probably some sort of hereditary thing. I had a buddy that I worked with that passed away at 36 from an enlarged heart, and his heart got so big that he had a heart attack and died, similar to what happened to my buddy. But, you know, so maybe there was nothing that could have been done, but my buddy Nick was talking to him like last week, and he had been complaining about not feeling well, but you know, the flu has been so bad that you know, you think, well, it's probably just the flu, and you know, if it gets too bad, go to the hospital. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, and it's kind of fucked with my mental strength. Like, my girlfriend got sick yesterday, and I didn't hear from her this morning, and I was like, maybe I should go over to her house and just make sure she's okay. And I know that she's probably okay, but you know, this kind of stuff doesn't help, because you think,
well,
what if she's not okay?
Right, the news of your buddy a couple days ago, and then you know, your mind starts to wonder, and you think, oh, I can't handle it if it's back to back, you know. That, so I get that completely. I tend to worry right after like big things like that too, so I completely understand. You think, oh, these things are linked, when it's just like, no, like that was bad, but I promise you this is just, you know, stomach bug or whatever.
Right. Yeah. You know.
No, it's rough, man. It sounds like you're having a rough couple days.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So like the night before, actually, I guess probably, you know, when this was happening to Jeff, I got in a fight with my girlfriend just because I'm a sensitive bitch, and you know, like you know, I thought like, oh, she's not paying enough attention to me or whatever stupid stuff, you know. And I think, I mean, it kind of like, I think I've always believed in communication, but sometimes it's hard for me to do, because I think I don't want to like stir the pot. I don't want to accidentally say something the wrong way that may make things worse, you know. Right. But I don't know, man. This is just like, for me, I mean, it's kind of a reinforcement that, you know, life is short, even when it's not cut dramatically short like my buddy's life was, you know. I mean, it's just good to say what you mean, tell people, you know, you love them, and to, you know, not kind of think like, I'll have tomorrow, you know. Yeah. Chances are you probably will, but, you know, I don't know, man. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm figuring if you need to talk to somebody, let me know.
I will, man.
If you, I don't know if there's, you know, a funeral or memorial coming up or anything like that. If you need somebody to go with you and have your back, or you feel weak or whatever, let me know.
Yeah, well, you know, I think the friend who called me said that they were going to talk to the funeral home tomorrow, I think, about it. So I'm guessing it'll most likely be early next week. Okay. I'm guessing maybe Sunday, but I'm not really sure. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's, you know, you just got to, I mean, life doesn't stop, you know. Yeah. And I was telling, like, I was talking to, so I, you know, as you know, I do NA meetings, but part of one of the